Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. And in today's lesson, we will discuss how to create the login block, which will use this login validators class in order to um, determine if our input in both the email and password fields are correct or valid. Okay, so before we begin, I would just like to thank all my subscribers. So now we have 31 subscribers in my channel, and I just wanna say thank you all for subscribing, and I hope you are able to build your own apps, your own Flutter applications. Okay, so let's start by discussing what is BLOC. Okay, I have this link here from Camp. How to handle state in Flutter using block pattern. So this is a very good article to kick off your learning about the block pattern in Flutter. And this is created by Chooks. And shout out to Chooks for creating this article. This one is very good. So, a block stands as a middleman between the source of your data in your app and the widgets that needs the data. Also, it receives streams of data from the source and handles any required business logic and publishes streams of data changes to widgets that are interested in them. So basically our block is like a tunnel and that tunnel has an input or accepts an input which is called sinks, and on the other hand or on the other end it has the output which is called streams. And these sinks, which is the input or the way to add the stream, and the streams are provided by the stream controller. So you add the streams of events data input into a sink and then listen to them, or you could transform them, which I will show you later. Uh, we can transform them into an output through a stream. By default, we have this stream controller through our Dart async package library. However, I will be showing you the behavior subject, which is provided by the RxDart package. Okay, so let's check RxDart. I'm gonna access that link, and in here, I think I could scroll down. So we have a couple of objects: observable, publish subject, behavior subject, and replay subject. So like I mentioned earlier, I will be showing you how you could use behavior subject to track your input uh, in those fields, in the email and password fields. So why behavior subject? This behavior subject is a special type of stream controller that captures the latest item that has been added to the controller. So let's say in our application right here. Okay, so in our application, in our previous discussion about the login validation class, I created this stream transformer for the to validate the email field and to validate the password fields because I want to monitor if, let's say for the email field, I want to monitor if the email contains this @ symbol or if it contains .com. On the other hand, in the password field, I would like to monitor if the current or the latest number of the password characters is more than 5. Okay, so in this context, I think it would be fitting to use the behavior subject to monitor or to capture the latest item. Alright, so let's create our block file. So in the block folder, I will add a file here called login underscore block.dart. And also, I will open now my pubspec.yaml file. Okay, and remember I have an extension called add. Oh, sorry about that. Called pubspec assist, and this pubspec assist enables us or to automatically download the package. Okay, so the way to do that is I will go back to my pubspec.yaml file, press Ctrl P on my keyboard, and then with this symbol right here, okay, I will add that symbol, and then I will say spec assist add dependency, and I will just type in RxDart. Okay, and you will notice that RxDart and its latest version is added in the pubspec.yaml file. So I will just press Ctrl S to save it, and it will download the package. There you go. So now we're through with this. I will now import a couple of things. So the first thing that I will import is okay, Dart async. Next thing I will import is, of course, the RxDart package right here. Okay, and the last thing that we will import, of course, is the validator that we created. Okay, but I will just leave that first because I wanted to automatically pull that out as soon as I call one of the validators. Okay, so it will be much more easier instead of typing it out. Okay, so now the first step in creating uh, a stream or a block is first you have to create a class. So in my case, I will call this login block, and then I will put with login. So I will go back to my login validators and then copy and paste the login validation class. So there's a red squiggly line underneath. So I will press Control dot, and as you can see, I can now import the library. Okay. Next step would be the creation of the behavior subject stream controllers. Okay, so first I will create one. Okay, so let me just comment this stream behavior subject stream controller. controllers. Alright, and then for the email, so I'll declare final email behavior subject, and I will put in the type. So we will be expecting the in type string, and there you go. So let's see, this blue squiggly line, okay, close instances of dart.core.sync, okay. So I will create first for the password. Password behavior subject of type string translate that. Okay, so both of these has this warning, close instances of dart.core.sync. So I will press control dot. Okay, so it doesn't show the solution. No quick fixes available. I see that one. Okay, so what does this error message say? It basically tells us to add a function to dispose of or to close these two fields. Uh, so I will do that now. Email dot close, and then password dot close. So why do we need to do that? The purpose of this dispose function is to automatically handle the any memory leakage. So this method right here will prevent any memory leakage in our uh, login block file and in our application in general. So you may notice this underscore right here in front of my email and password variables. So this underscore signifies that this behavior subject string controllers are private, okay, and they are not available for uh, viewing or for access other than this login block.py file. Okay, so these are private variables. So the next step would be the creation of the streams. Okay, so as you can see, like I mentioned earlier, streams are the outputs. So so how is our app going to access these the streams coming from these stream controllers? So okay, we will make a public getter stem. Okay, so the first step is to create a stream with a type, oh sorry about that, stream with a type string. Okay, get email, and we will get our email. Okay, some of you might be confused by the symbols. I'm actually using a font called Code. uh, and this enables me to create symbols as soon as I hit, let's say, equal sign and then this symbol right here. Okay, like that. So equal sign and is greater than, so it put it like this, so that's greater than, equal sign greater than. Okay, so I will, okay, create a string with type string of type string and then get email from our email string controller. Okay, string of type string. Okay, get password equal and greater than symbol password. Okay, so okay, just one quick side of it, slideshow right here. Let me just show you my font. Okay, so I'm using a font Code Retina. Okay, so for any one of you who wants to use this font family, you could just download it and install it first in your PC, and then you could access the font family here. Okay, so if you want to get some symbols like this one. Okay, so let's continue with the lesson. Now I think we could further enhance our stream. Okay, I forgot the word stream right here. Okay, so I think we could further enhance this streams by validating our outputs. So the way to do that is we could add dot transform, and I will pull in my validate. What's the first one? Validate email field right here. So what it basically does is that it use or whenever we have a new value in our stream, the transform method will use this validate email field which we created from our login validators.dart file, and that will validate uh, our values in the stream. So let's do the same thing with our password. So let's validate password field. Okay, so now we now have the stream. We can now access the stream publicly uh, in our application. And aside from that, we can now uh, validate the values, the stream values as well. So we can now access the email and password email streams publicly, and while doing so, we are able to validate those values as well. Okay, so now I think we could work on our submit field because or submit button, because I think we focus too much on our email fields and email field and password field. So what about this one right here, uh, this login button? Because what I want to happen is I want to keep this login button disabled for a while, and up until we both have a positive response or positive validation in both of our text fields. If that happens, then I would like to keep the button right here green, color into green. So to do that, I will add another string to track if the submit valid the submission is valid or not. Okay. So how can we do that? So let me add here, or let me create another string that will monitor or of type boolean. So get submit or get submit. It will track if the submit button is valid. Is valid. Submit button is get submit button is valid. Okay, greater than equals greater than. Okay, so now we will make use of the observables. So what are these observables? So observable is, I think it's part of the Dart class. So just to make sure, let me access the Dart docs. Oops, sorry about that. Dart observable class. Well, actually, I could access it in here. RxDart. So, uh, observable, which accepts one type. So, a wrapper class that extends string. It combines all the strings and string transformers contained in this library into a Fluent API. Okay, structure. I see a couple of properties here. Let's go back with our code. So I'll just try to add doc, and we see a couple of items right here. Type insert observe couple. This is contain observable class. Alright, let's try to look for a good method right here. So combine latest merges the given streams into one observable sequence by using the combiner function. Whenever any of the observable sequences emits an item, this is helpful for when you need to combine dynamic number of streams. Merges. Okay, so this one merges the given streams into one observable by using the combiner function whenever any of the observable sequences emits an item. So this one accepts a string A, string B, and then a type or a combiner. I see. I think we could make use of this one. string A. So that could be the email, string B will be the password, and then we could perform a function right here. Okay, so let's use combine these two. I will assign email as our first string and then password as our second string. As for the combiner, it expects a function just like this one right here. Okay, so let's create the function email password equals to true. Mm-hmm. I think we could make a distinction between these two right here. So let's say email value, password value, just to make a distinction. Okay, so I think that's it. So we have a validator for our submit button. And I would like to add another uh, set of functions to monitor any changes in data. So how are we going to do that? So I will monitor any changes in the text fields. So to do that, I will create a function of type string, and I will get any changes in the email. So that would be um, email changes, and again equal sign and then greater than symbol, and in any changes I will add each of the changes to my sync. So I will access my email constructor from the very first line right here. Uh, email, email constructor, and like I mentioned earlier, we have the capability to add an input through sync, and then inside for this sync I will call dot add. Okay, so I will just remove this function. Okay, so there we have it. So we have here a function called email changes, and let's create another function of testing that gets or that monitors for the password changes. And this time I will use the password stream controller, and I will access the input or the sync, and I will add on that sync. There you go. Okay, so now we have already defined our syncs or for the inputs, and for the outputs our streams. So the first thing that we created is we created a two stream controllers. We then created our strings for the output, and for the input, which expects an event, we created this sinks. Okay. I think we're basically almost complete with this, but I would just like to add one more function. Okay. So as soon as uh, okay, so submit, so submit data or submit login. Okay, and then this function will be called as soon as I click the login button. For now, if I click this login button in my debug console, it will just show you click me printed right here. Okay, so I will make some changes obviously. So let's say I wanted to call, or I wanted to know what is the values that are, or what are the values that are currently written in our email and password fields. Okay, so to do that, we will create uh, two variables that will house our um, stream dot values. Okay, so let's name this um, valid email. Okay, and this valid email will variable will house our stream controller, email stream controller dot value. Okay, and let's do the same with our password. So if the email is valid or if the password is valid, then obviously it will our stream controller will house or will have the value method or value property filled out. And then I will put here print email. Okay, valid email. And then another print function for, so to know the password. Valid password. Okay, so I think we're basically through with this login block. And in our next episode, I will show you how we could access or how we could link this login block with our UI widgets right here for the email field, password, and submit button through the use of provider. So I think that's it. So just a quick recap. We learned how to create the login block with the use of RxDart. So the first thing that we did was in our pubspec.yaml file, we added the RxDart dependency. Second, we created this, a file named loginblock.dart, and in order to create to kickstart or to kick off our stream stream controllers, so we first created the stream controllers for email and then password. These are set to private, so this file will only be able to access it. Okay, And after that, we define the streams or the output. So what streams uh, basically means or basically tell us what we want to receive uh, from the actions that are triggered or that are inputted after. Okay, so here's the output, the streams, and we expected to receive the email and the password, and these are publicly available in our application. These streams are then validated automatically. Okay, and this validation comes from the login validation class in our login validators.dart file. So automatically, these outputs that we receive are streams that are then transformed or validated as well. Okay, we also created a submit button here. Okay, submit button is valid stream to monitor if both of our email address field and password fields are already valid. Aside from that, we then move on to the creation of our sinks. Sinks are basically inputs which accepts an event. Okay, so we created these functions email for any email changes and any password changes. And aside from that, we created this very important file or very important method called dispose, which automatically handles or closes our stream controllers right here, and this will prevent any memory leakages. Lastly, we created this submit login function to add some uh, basic functionality to our app. So I hope you like this video and see you on our next lesson. Thank you.